So, what exactly is a one call closer? Is it some mythical animal just like a mermaid or maybe a unicorn? Do they really exist in the world of sales? Should you want to become a one call closer? Is it going to make you very, very pushy as a salesperson that people are going to hate? Let's uncover all of the secrets in this particular call. In this particular video, my name is Dr. Rajat Sinha. I'm a medical doctor turned sales specialist. And in this YouTube channel, I'm going to be covering all things sales. So if you are interested in sales, especially tactical sales, which has nothing to do with your branding, your lead generation, etc., extremely tactical situations, then please subscribe to this channel. Let's get started. So what is a one call closer? Today in the world of the internet and social media, the attention span of a prospect is extremely low. If you can get them to actually become curious about your product through an ad or something like that, you have one shot to actually close them, which is the very first meeting. And over there, if you can become a one call closer or a one shot closer, that's going to really skyrocket your closing rates, and all of the extra money that you make goes back into ads and just goes ahead and multiplies your returns, okay, and smokes your competition. Very, very important, because with social media and AI and all these internet technologies, it's becoming very, very competitive. So if you make extra money by having a higher closing rate, then you're going to smoke out all your competition. Otherwise, it's going to be the other way around, super competitive, okay. So let's get started. What is exactly is the concept behind a one call closer? If you're selling a product that is not extremely high ticket, that is, let us say, less than probably a lakh, I would say probably lower than 50,000, even up to 30,000, 40,000, 45,000, 49,000 price range, then you can actually have the capability to close the client one shot, and you don't need complicated technology, very, very complicated funnels or highly qualified leads in order to do that. You just need to follow what I'm going to share with you in this particular video. And if you have deal sizes which are over 50,000, maybe a lakh of rupees, then they may be having part payments, they may be having some particulars. So over there, you may need to collect a deposit and then have your team go through the rest of the process, okay. So that technically will be a one call close. However, the actual deal closing may take maybe a couple of sittings, okay. So just wanted to make that clear. Now, for extremely small ticket deals like less than 1000 rupees, you can actually sell them through web pages, which is not what I recommend if you're a beginner. But if you have the ad budget, you've been in the market for a while, you can actually have them have smaller products sell on your thank you page or something like that. And definitely, if you have an e-commerce platform, that becomes very, very easy. A one call closing skill set comes in handy when you're closing deals between, let's say, 2000 rupees to probably about 50,000 rupees, okay. I'm going to be walking you through how you can do that on a consultation call, which could be a Zoom call, it could be an in-person meeting, it could even be on the phone, but I don't recommend trying to close deals on the phone because there are lots of interruptions. You can't see the prospect, you can't assess their body language and things like that, and they can't see you. So the trust level is going to be that much lower. What I recommend is, if you're on a phone with somebody, get them onto a Zoom call where you can at least see them, see that whole energy exchange, see the body language and things like that. That relationship building, etc. All of that helps. Okay. So let's go into a one call closing. The very first and most critical item is for you to assess the readiness level of a prospect. Assess the readiness level of a prospect, and what that means basically is, in another video I had actually covered this. Prospects are of 4 different readiness levels, and the very first readiness level that we call is the problem unaware prospect. You'll find, if you're doing stuff on the internet, you're going to find a lot of prospects that are going to get attracted to you through that wide net that you're casting. And if you have somebody who's a top of the funnel kind of a prospect, who's a problem unaware prospect, then the closing percentage or the closing potential of that prospect is extremely low. And as a salesperson, that is your responsibility to gauge what is their readiness level. And the readiness level is not there, then I recommend you don't invest emotional energy into this interaction, because what happens is, a lot of salespeople, they lose in the game long term because they lose emotional energy. And once the emotional energy is lost, man, the game is over, okay. Most people lose in sales or fail in sales and entrepreneurship because they lose emotional energy, calling or trying to close or trying to follow up the wrong kind of prospect. If you don't do that, your life in sales can be virtually unlimited. Just to give you my perspective, I'm a medical doctor turned sales specialist. I started learning sales by doing commission selling even while I was studying my medical program. So even while I was in medical college, I started learning sales, and it really took me many, many years before I could master it. It took many, many mentors to actually hone me into something good, okay. So this is an art which is going to be perfected over many, many years. However, if you get out of the game by trying to close the wrong kind of prospects, feeling bad about it, feeling disappointed, that's going to just get you out of the game. Okay. So assess the readiness level of the prospects. If they're top of the funnel prospects, don't close them. Okay. The art of the one call closing is knowing which call to not attempt, and build that relationship and probably get them back, okay, at a later date. You can definitely go for the close over here also. I've talked in different videos what are the things you have to sell over here. However, even if you go for the close and lose it, don't worry about it. It's not going to impact your reputation or your income if you're unable to close these types of prospects. The potential closing rate of this kind of prospect is roughly 5 to 10% at the max. Okay, now you're going to be having let me just go through the second step, which is assess budget. Okay, which is assess budget. All right, very, very important. Before you go for the close, you should be knowing what is the budgetary capacity of a particular prospect. And the way you do that is by asking them the questions about where they have been before in their search for a solution. They may have tried other people. They may be what is the problem costing them? How are they paying for the problem right now, especially in health products and things like that? If somebody has diabetes or something like that, how are they taking care of their diabetes problem? Because diabetes by itself comes with certain costs, because they'll be going to the doctor a lot and different things like that. Okay, so you want to be understanding what is the cost of the problem, how are they managing the cost of the problem, because that's going to give you an idea what the budget is going to be. Is it going to be inside your budget, not inside your budget, which is your closing range? And if it is going to be within the closing range, you want to be going into clearing the next set of factors. The third thing you want to do over here is assess authority. Okay, assess authority. What is authority? You basically want to ask them that when they swipe the card, do they have the budgetary authority in the organization if they're B2B setup, or in their household if it's a B2C setup? Are they going to swipe that card themselves without their spouse present? Okay, and if the answer is no, if they usually spend the money with the spouse present and the spouse is not here right now, then you need to either create the determination then and there whether they're going to swipe the card, or you want them to set up a second meeting where the spouse is present. Okay, so all of this you need to know beforehand by asking them the questions. How are they usually making the spends? Who are they taking the advice from the home? Hey man, the last time you tried fixing this problem, it didn't work. What did your spouse have to say? Because in my case, if my spouse if I made a fool of myself like that, my spouse would probably be very angry with me. And I kind of make few jokes like that just to get their assessment, and they say no, I do these things myself. My spouse has no comment as long as I'm doing the right thing. They don't mind. Then I know that they're going to be swiping the card without their spouse being present. The third thing is assessing urgency. Okay, or establishing urgency. What is the establishing of the urgency? There are two types of urgency over here. You've got strategic and tactical. Strategic urgency is, if they don't take this decision today, how much pain is this going to cost them by delaying this decision today, and what are the things in the market that are going to change? Just to give you perspective, I teach people Facebook ads, and I tell them, well, every single day there are over 12,000 new advertisers that are becoming successful on the platform. And if you don't start today, then your ads are going to have to compete uphill with all these other advertisers that every single day are becoming successful on Facebook. So the time is now. Otherwise, it's going to be way, way harder to come back and do this. Okay, so that's strategic urgency. What is tactical urgency? You may be having a monsoon offer discount. You may be having a New Year offer or discount or something like that. You may be having certain combinations that are available right now that may not be available later. You may be retiring certain products later that are available right now. So figuring out what is the right combination that at the time of implementing the actual transaction, you can use it as a veiled threat or something like that they are not going to be able to get the benefit of if they delay the decision at that point. So that is tactical urgency. Anything to do with the offer, the terms, the discount, any special bonuses or something like that, that goes with tactical urgency. Strategic urgency has nothing to do with you or your product. If they don't take the decision, then the way things are going, it's going to become even more and more difficult for them to come back and take this decision later, simply because certain factors are going to change, for example. Okay, so that is strategic urgency. Now let's go to what is the next factor, number 5. One call closer. Factor number 5 is assessing payment mode. Very, very important. How are they going to make the payment today if they decide to go ahead? You need to know how have they made payments in the past, and if if they are going to be taking a decision out without consulting their spouse or their superior, then do they have the payment method with them, yes or no? You will be surprised, a lot of people suddenly should come up with saying, okay, the two of us have just one debit card between us, and right now it's with my spouse and they're not here, or something like that. Okay, and it really happens in real life. Sometimes customers are BSing you, of course they may be bullshitting you, but mostly there are certain logistical issues, so you want to be knowing that that they are going to be able to make a payment, or the mode of payment is on their person right now. And you can ask all of these things in a fun fashion by saying, hey man, if I could give you the solution, would you be able to, would you seriously be going ahead? And they'll be like, yes. Okay, so how will you be doing it? You told me that you've been spending on your problem earlier through your credit card, so you'll actually be giving swiping your credit card on my portal. Is that, is that how you want to go about it? And you can ask all of these conditional questions in a fun tone, and they will be actually answering that because they are the ones with the problem. And as long as they're not a top of the funnel kind of a lead, they're going to be pretty invested in the conversation, which is why assessing readiness level before you get into the call is very, very important. Okay. Next you have once you've done all of these steps, you want to complete the if I would you question successfully. This is the biggest skill that you can develop in the world of sales, is completing this call and asking an if I would you question. If I would you is a assumptive closing question, where assuming that they've already paid you, what are the next 2 or 3 steps? You're going to tell them, hey man, assuming that we were to meet for half an hour each on Friday, Saturday and Sunday to set you up or to get you started, when would you have time in the mornings? And if they give you time in the mornings, then it's pretty much an assumptive close, so it's pretty much done. So if I would you question, if I ask you to do this, would you be able to do it? That's a very soft kind of commitment question that you're asking the prospect. And if you can get to this question and get them to answer this question every single time, trust me, you're going to have more than 25, 30, even 40% close rate. You're going to be a one call closer, and provided the lead is not an absolute top of the funnel kind of unprepared lead, you're going to have pretty much solid closing rates that are going to make you very, very rich in the world of sales, my friend. Okay. Now next is you come to the offer, you give them the terms, the discount, the combination, whatever it is. And then step number 8 is Q&A. After you give them the offer, you let them ask you all the questions and you handle the questions. If you've done all of this stuff right, the Q&A is going to be super focused. It's all going to be buying questions from the prospect. What are buying questions? They want to know how the delivery is going to be made. They probably have some conditions saying, I don't want it done right now. I want it after 1 week. I want to do the discount like this. Whatever it is, there are structural buying questions, which means that's how they want the deal to be structured. It's not some useless stuff like, hey, I don't even know right now how this will be of value to me or something like that. So at this point, if you've done the call exactly like I showed you, then you won't get useless sort of objections over here, which is non-buying questions. If a prospect comes to you at this stage and says, hey man, I don't know how this will be of value to me. I didn't understand what you told me. I didn't understand the solution. I don't have the money. I don't have my spouse, etc. All of these problems will not occur at this stage. If the deal goes flat, it's only going to be because they want a little bit more time maybe to think over it. Which also doesn't really happen if you can take a down payment in a big ticket deal. But the only reason that the deal is going to go south is due to the structural effects, which is there's a particular discount that they wanted that you can't provide. There's a particular combination they thought they were going to get, which is not available with this sort of program or whatever it is. Only the structural elements are going to fall through, or maybe the financing elements can fall through at some point. So if you have a deal which is a high ticket deal where you're bank financing and stuff like that, some things can fall through from the bank side, which can lead to a 20-30% losing of such deals. But if you do this process exactly as I have defined, then you are going to be a one call closer. And unless there are structural issues with the sale or with your sales process, you're going to be able to close almost all of the bottom and middle funnel deals, which is 40% of all the prospects you're going to get. And that's going to give you a 40% closing rate. Yes. Okay. So with this video, I wish that you become a one call closer. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel, share this video, and do let me know in the comments what other videos I can make for you. I look forward to being back with more video content with you in the near future. Look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.